Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Thread. It is so good to be back, and I want to give a big thank you to our friends at Sensible Marketing for allowing us to be back. Shimi, Ron, Jeremy, you know the team. They are the experts in nursing home marketing. You ever heard of virtual tours? If you own a nursing home and you want to attract, what's that?
I said, of course.
Of course, you've heard of
Of course,
virtual
very
tours.
virtual tours.
Yeah, and that's what Sensible does. One of the things that they do, besides for being like the top marketers when it comes to nursing homes, virtual tours is one of the ways they do that. You need to reach out to Sensible Marketing. That is sensiblemarketing.com. And the good times roll. A big thank you to Shimmy J for making this possible. Okay,
So
so
what do they do? They sell nursing homes. What do they do? They're
they
brokers.
don't sell nursing homes. They do nursing home marketing. They do the
I don't know
marketing
what that
for the
means.
nursing homes.
Every time I hear the word
Really?
marketing, every time I heard
You're a smart.
no,
You're
anyone,
a smart guy. You should.
anytime someone tells me they're in marketing, I don't even know what they do. I don't know what they do. Hold on a second. All right, forget about it.
Oh,
Okay.
this is professional.
Listen, it's normal life. Okay, I'll tell her I'll call her back. It's your sister. You know.
Okay, so we'll start off the episode by, I guess, let's highlight what happened this weekend in Philadelphia in the Wells Fargo Center, where over 25,000 Youngalites,
Yes.
people learning, went to partake in the Adirei HaTorah, which is the product of Louis Shiner's chesed of putting together an event for all those learning, all those in Kollel, really anybody who wanted to go. The event, Louis Shiner said that there's going to be an upped amount of money in the paychecks. There's going to be an increase in the amount of money
Cola.
in the paychecks for Kol Youngalite.
Okay.
So,
Okay. That's a big story.
and they had some Rabbanim, including Rav Dov Landau, Rav Meir C. Bergman, he's sitting
I heard this. Yeah,
Shiva.
I heard he came. He flew by private jet from Eretz Yisrael
Yeah.
to New York, and while he was in the air flying here, he got news that his son, who was 70 years old, passed away. I think he's about 94 himself. So his 70-year-old son passed away, and I guess he's sitting shiva here now in the United States.
That's like unbelievable. Like that's really unbelievable. Um,
Well, I don't know if you're interested in this, but you want to talk about more about the thing in Philadelphia? Okay,
I wish I
shift
could
to
have been
another
there.
subject.
Honestly,
Well, you could have gone. Why you didn't feel it? You weren't feeling well.
yeah, I was under the weather. You should have gone. I
I
think
should
you
have
would have
gone.
enjoyed it.
Well, I would have liked to go. I visited you on Sunday actually
You did.
because you weren't feeling well, so I was being with Bakachola. So Baruch Hashem, now you're better. You know, when you visit somebody that's not feeling well, you take away some of that illness from them. You lift it
That's so.
from them a bit. That's what the Gemara says. Anyway, but Baruch Hashem, you're feeling better. But it's interesting that Rabbi Bergman and the other Rabbanim who you mentioned, that I don't have it by heart now, because according to the rules of Daily Thread, I'm not allowed to look at any notes or phones or anything. I just have to look at the camera and talk. Right?
Yeah, it's the rules.
Yeah, but somehow I see your eyes wandering to look at screens and stuff like that in the course of the recording. So it seems to be like an imbalance here in the equation.
It's double standard.
It seems to be you're at an advantage, and but anyway, I wrote an article this week called it's going to be in this week's Five Town Jewish Times on Thursday. It's called 100 Years. It's about people like Rav Gershon Edelstein, who lived till 100, who passed away about a week ago, 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. And a year ago, he appointed 4 new people to the Moetzes Gedolei Torah, including Reb Bergman and Reb Dov Landau, who, by the way, is going to speak at Yeshivat Adirei HaTorah today, Tuesday, at some point today, and Rav Azrachi, and one other who I don't remember right now, who I'm sure people listening to this probably have at the tip of their tongue, but I don't have my notes or my paper down here. But they're all in their 90s, you see.
Yeah.
So I was wondering to myself, I mean, why can't we find? I mean, it's great. They are the leaders of Torah scholarship in the world, and they inspire a generation. But why can't we find, people that could lead for longer periods of time. People in there. I'm not saying you don't have to find 22-year-olds or 28-year-olds, but
I think it's.
but
I think they do exist. I think it's just a passing of a
you
torch.
know,
I think that
Lahavdil Elifei Abdullah is like the situation with President of the United States. You have Ron DeSantis, who's 44 years old, and you have Donald Trump, who's 76 years old, who will be 78 years old if he wins by the time he takes office in 2025. And of course, you have the disaster known as Joe Biden, who is a bumbling, fumbling personality.
yeah, but we never covered the fact that he fell on his face.
Well, I don't know. When did he fall on his face? On Thursday or Friday? I don't think we did a show
You
since
saw it,
then.
right? You saw him fall.
Yeah, I did see it. He was I think he was at the Air Force Academy at the graduation. When he spoke, he tripped over a sandbag.
I
Anybody?
mean, it's not. We don't want to make we don't want to make light of anybody, especially up there in age, falling. I'm not going to show the video of him falling. If you saw it, you saw it.
You know what? You see, but the question is this: not whether you see the video or not. What do people feel when they see the video? The Fox News shows it, and the late night shows, I guess, show it because they want to laugh. Now, the question now is
I think
not.
they're showing it to show his incompetency.
Well,
I think that's why they're showing
no,
it.
see, the late night people, I don't know who they are these days. The guys who took David Letterman's and Johnny Carson's place. But
You're really dating yourself.
yeah, I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. Let me see if I can remember any of them. Jimmy Kimmel is one, right? But they show these things for a laugh. Now, if an 80-year-old man is tripping over a sandbag and falls in front of millions of people watching a graduation, I mean, why is that being broadcast and shown to laugh? And on Fox News, they showed a whole string of times that he fell, walking up the ramp, walking up the steps to the
Well,
airplane.
the media is cruel, so that's why they do it, and it's all about views and the agenda. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think that they show it to push a certain narrative. The fact that he's incompetent, which I don't. I happen to think he's not so competent, but not because he falls. I just think that he can't. He's not coherent most of the time, and if not for a teleprompter, I don't think he'd be able to string together two sentences. But that has nothing to do with the fact that he's falling on his face. But let's just close the parentheses on Adirei HaTorah. And of course what you mentioned about 100 years. You mentioned of Gershon Edelstein ZTL. We featured a video of him that got passed around, and I'm going to try to show it right now.
בדרכי נועם, רק בלי כפייה.
לנדנד להם?
לא לנדנד, בדרכי נועם. הילד יודע, גם יודע מה שטוב. אז צריך לתת לו עידוד שירצה. עידוד שיהיה לו חשק. שיהיה לו חשק. אם בכפייה, אז זה הפוך, לא משפיע בכלל. להכריח ילד אסור להכריח. חינוך בכפייה זה חינוך הפוך. בתוצאה הפוכה. בצורה מעניינת, בצורה בידידות, בתוכה, ואם מכריחים אותו, אז יש התוצאה היא הפוכה. רק בדרכי נועם. שלא ירגיש בכלל שיש ביקורת עליו. ילד מרגיש ביקורת, מרגיש את הביקורת. מרגיש ביקורת, אז זה כואב לו מאוד. גורם לילד לפריקת עון.
So that's basically saying, for those who are listening and don't understand, when someone asks them if they can nag their child, let's say to be on time for davening, Kriya Shema, to what extent should they go? And Rav Gershon Edelstein Zecher Tzaddik Livracha said that chinuch needs to be done in a loving way, only in pleasant ways, and it'll backfire if you force it.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say that's brand new thinking, but it is new thinking.
Well, I posted this clip on Twitter, and somebody I happened to believe they replied to me, and it started sort of a little bit of a conversation. I'm just going to pull it up right now. Okay, so someone wrote to me. They said, "I'm always so torn when I see prolific writers and big leaders advocating for gentle parenting and compassionate education. They make for heartwarming, inspiring clips and quotes, yet systemically things stay the same. So I replied to that person saying that this is how we make change, by echoing this sentiment, meaning change starts by us by echoing this. And he replied, and I don't necessarily agree. He said the clips have been circulating for years. We make change by changing and advocating for change. So this person believes that this is a chiddush, and people still are in the arena of forcing chinuch, and whether it's as a system.
Well,
How do you
you
how do we
had
cause
you
change
you
in that?
you had a guest on Meaningful People Saturday night who talked about the subject, Rabbi Shimon Russell. It was very enlightening. Also representative of what we call not brand new thinking. Let's call it new thinking. When I say new thinking, I mean it's not like it was in the 60s and 70s and 80s when an entire generation was probably mishandled because there was no methodology. No one understood what was going on. But he talked about a crisis chinuch. I discussed it with you on Sunday when I saw you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was listening to the show, but I don't know what crisis chinuch. I know what crisis is.
Yeah,
I know what chinuch is,
crisis
but I don't know what crisis chinuch is.
crisis chinuch is when someone has a child that's struggling. um you have to change the approach of, this kid needs to be on time for Kriya Shema. So we need to make sure that this kid, A, is healthy, B, that we maintain a relationship with him. I think in yesteryear, it was always a focus. There could be a kid, or even an adult that wouldn't go to davening, that wouldn't wear a yarmulke, but the parents would still be in the parsha of talking about, what are you eating? What do your Shabbos plans look like? The kid's not even holding there. He's a skeleton of himself. So
Yeah.
crisis chinuch is the approach of focus on the human being first. Make sure that he is healthy. Keep them alive. Keep them healthy. And then, slowly but surely, so that approach, which that is not the entire gamut of it. Yeah, you got to pick up the book. You read the book, but I think that's sort of what crisis chinuch is about.
So let me tell you a personal experience, if you don't mind. It might make the show more interesting. But so I'm going to say it anyway. But when I was in high school, I went to Chaim Berlin and Yeshiva Chaim Berlin on Coney Island Avenue. Daily menu started at 8 o'clock, and I had to take two buses to get to Yeshiva. I lived in Crown Heights. It was very hard to get there at 8 o'clock. You know, I don't know. I don't know why there was no buses. I guess there was. No, I was taking buses. There was no school bus. I had a bus pass. I can get
I
on.
get the Aguda didn't advocate for busing you.
No, no. I think they were still they were asleep in those years on this subject. Anyway, I had to take two buses. I don't want to go into which buses I had to take, but the buses sometimes didn't come. It was very hard for me to get there before 8:30 or 8:40 for the at 8 o'clock minyan. So most days I would walk in at 8:30 or 8:40, and the rabbis weren't happy with that. But then in 11th grade, I started taking driver's education. And driver's education started at 6 a.m. at the yeshiva, and I was there all the time on time at 6 a.m. And we had driver's ed for an hour until 7 a.m. And then somehow I was on time for minyan on those days. As a matter of fact, I was the first one there. There was no one else there at 7 o'clock except me. But in driver's ed that year in 11th grade, I learned a very important lesson in life, which I think I've shared with you and your siblings over the years. On the last day in February of driver's education, our teacher said he's on an icy morning, on an icy February morning, it was like 3 degrees outside. He's going to take us out and show us how to skid and keep control of the car. Did I tell you that story?
Yeah.
So he took us out to one of those streets there near Chaim Berlin, like I think on East 16th, East 17th Street, where there's no residential area. It's not a residential area. It's all like factories or garages or something. And it was all icy, all iced over. He he sped up, or he speeded up, he hit the gas, and then he slammed on the brake. And when the car started to skid, he turned into the skid and was able to control the car. Because your natural instinct when you're skidding, and this goes also not just about cars, but bringing up kids today. When it's skidding, your natural inclination is to turn against the skid, but that just makes the car slide and potentially crash into something and do a lot of damage, and God forbid, hurt somebody. But if you keep your mind focused and you turn into the skid, you're able to control the car. So that, in my mind, is what crisis chinuch is about. You got to turn into the skid. You got to go with the flow. You got to check it out day to day, week to week, see what the temperature is, and move on in a cyclic way from there. I think.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Okay, what else?
Moving on.
Moving
Moving
on up.
on. So, also another thing that we dropped recently was the Sim Harambam vlog. I spent an evening in Crown Heights. You were there as well.
Yeah, I
I don't
saw
think we
that.
discussed that.
Yeah, I saw it. It was a
So
great night.
I was in seven. So I was in 770, and I'll tell you, I'm not in Crown Heights often. Really, really not.
Not enough.
But
Not enough. You should go. You should go spend the shop. You should go spend the Shabbos there.
I should. Something that struck me. Listen, if anybody wants to invite me for Shabbos, let me
Oh,
know.
well,
The truth is, I have enough cousins there.
you'll get invited, and you should be there, and you should be able to breathe it in.
Something that struck me about Crown Heights that was like I had a hard time articulating it on the vlog, which by the way is on YouTube. You could check it out at Meaningful Minutes YouTube channel.
Okay.
Is that I'm walking in the streets. First of all, the energy is palpable. You're in a place that is almost frozen in time of when the Rebbe was alive. I would want to say that things haven't changed too much, although I don't know because I wasn't alive then.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like things are happening. The connection to the Rebbe is still very much there and vibrant. The thing that caught my attention the most is like the weddings happening one after the other right outside 770 in the courtyard over there. Chuppah, 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 going into the Yichud room inside 770. Like I'm like, is this Russia? Are we in? What is going on here? And I just found the whole vibe to be so incredible and to be so Jewish. It was so from.
Well,
And
listen.
we're in Brooklyn.
Listen. Life. Number one, life goes on no matter what. No matter what. But the interesting thing, surveying the crowd that night, there was like 10,000 people there or more. Is that the number
Yeah,
that they're
something like
saying?
that.
Most of them were young people, and most of them were born after the Rebbe passed away. So
Way after.
if you could put yourself into that mindset, where they're adhering to the ways and the teachings and the direction and the instructions of a Rebbe that they never heard of, never attended a Farbrengen. They only saw it on
Yeah.
video. Thank God there's video to be able to see it. But they never saw him in person. They never got online for dollars, which was a great event. Most Sundays in Crown Heights, and people from around the world would fly in just to spend 30 seconds chit chatting with the Rebbe about something that was on their mind or on their heart, and get $1 for tzedakah.
Yeah.
But the generation that is so I would say the people were divided. There were people there. There were older people there who I saw and I recognized from the good old days, who the Rebbe was very much part of their life. And then, but there was a tremendous amount of people, a large amount of people that were, like I said, were born after the Rebbe passed away. And like you said, they really they haven't skipped a beat. It's as if, in a sense that the Rebbe's presence is still very much that they can feel it. They can feel it. And they can sense it. And 770 stands there, just like the way it did, for the last 75 years. I think they bought the building in 1940, actually, I think.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 70, 60, 80, 83 years ago. But that's like it's only a building, but it's something material that's very much there that could be seen, and you can walk into it and you can feel it. And if you had that experience, you can even imagine the Rebbe walking in and the Rebbe walking out to go home, and so on and so forth. And those are things that I saw, many times. Maybe I didn't appreciate it enough at the time, but it's something that I certainly have very much recorded in my hard drive, so to speak, up here.
Yeah. 100. So we had a lot of fun there in Crown Heights. The next story I want to get to, maybe the last story, is yesterday. Apple introduced a new product, and I want to sort of see. I want to gauge if this is something you would get. I kind of think I would, besides for the price point. So they introduced a new Apple VR headset. Sort of like the Oculus, you put it on your eyes, but it is literally a game changer. People say that it's it's almost taking alternate reality and virtual reality and it's combining it. You'll be able to keep it on a full day, FaceTime people, and they'll be standing in front of you. You can work in there and have your entire Apple interface. You can be watching shows that are literally like it has like a 3D dimension. The experience is otherworldly.
What is the price point?
The reaction to Tim Cook announcing the price was kind of shocking. The crowd was not so happy. The price is $34.99, $3,499 for this new Apple VR headset. I personally don't think that's going to stop people. I think people are going to get it. It looks absolutely incredible, but again, it brings up the discussion of, oh my gosh, where is this stuff going? People are going to be living in virtual reality. People are not going to be living in this world. It's a little bit concerning.
I saw an actor who said that he thinks that AI could put him in movies that does a better job than he did. They could duplicate him and do a better job than him. You could bring back. Listen, it's time travel in a sense. You can go anywhere. You can walk.
It is.
You can get on one of the ships with Christopher Columbus and arriving in America in 1490, discovering America in 1492. You could be there,
right? And in a more meaningful sense, you can be by a Farbrengen of the Rebbe. You can be by you can be by things. How about let's show the trailer that Apple put out and let's see what we think.
Dreamer, you're nothing but a dreamer. Well, can you put your hands in your head? Oh no, I said dreamer. You say you are a dreamer. Well, can you put your hands in your head? Oh no, I said fudge. Wanna take the year and life it is. Well, you know your head it coming to you. I miss you so much.
Okay.
Dream
Toast.
That is crazy.
What's it called? Apple what?
Apple Vision Pro. That is crazy.
Vision Pro. All right, so maybe
One
I'll split it with you maybe.
But again, like the technology is otherworldly. The fact that you're able to make a like, I don't know what it's called.
It's panoramic. It's how do you program where you want to go? What do you do? It's like on a computer screen.
These questions I can't answer. I don't even know. I'm not sure if you know what you're asking.
No, I want to know. How do you? Let's say you want to go into to Columbus, one of the ships. Like, how do you get on there? What do you do? You program it?
I don't think that's how it works. If there's a video of that, I think you can like search up a video and maybe you can do like the setting where you're I don't know. That's not the feature. Something that's different about this and other VR headsets that exist is that you can still be in reality. Meaning, one of the things they featured in that trailer is that the guy his daughter was kicking him a soccer ball and he was still able to see it. It's see through. One of the downsides, I think, is that they showed a person on an airplane wearing this VR headset.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine we're all walking around wearing this headset in our face. What is this? I feel like they made horror films about this, the time that we're living in right now. And Apple just put this out and people are going to buy it. And you're going to be walking in the city pretty soon and you're going to see people wearing these headsets.
Don't you have a choice not to use it? I mean,
of course you could not.
They talk about AI like it's going to take control of us. How's it going to take control of you if you're busy? If you're in yeshiva over a Gemara of 18 hours a day, what impact is
course.
AI going to have on you?
Of course, you could not use it, but you also not use a smartphone. But look where that got us.
All right, so you don't. But I'm not. My point is, you don't have to use. You don't have to use it.
I know people don't have to buy this, but I think that it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. It's going to be very tempting for people to purchase an item like this. Obviously, the price point is crazy. I don't think there's. I mean, even their Macs, the computer that I have right here in front of me that I'm talking to you with, wasn't much. But this is a.
Well, the
This
price will
is,
go
I
down.
don't know.
The price will go down eventually.
I don't think so. Apple's
I think
prices doesn't.
I think they used to say that about cars when people were going around in horse and buggies. You know,
Oh yeah.
people they said, "Oh, come on, do you see that car tires?"
Were you alive when people were
I
going on horse and buggies?
yeah, exactly. Yes, of course. I was on the ship with Columbus in
You're
1492.
very into Columbus today. When was
Yes,
the first car invented?
I don't
Let's
know.
see.
Early on,
I
I
would.
bet.
Do you
I'm not
remember
sure.
people in Crown Heights
On
on
horse and
horse and
buggy?
buggy?
No,
Yeah.
no.
The first
Real-
car was invented in 1886, so I guess you were
Yeah,
alive for just a couple of
yeah.
years.
I was right. I think I was the year of my upshare in 1886.
That was your upsharing. So,
Yeah,
question is,
right.
did you go to your upsharing in a horse and buggy, or did your family have a car then?
No, we never had a horse. We never traveled by horse. We always had cars. But are you getting a horse on your farm over there?
I'd like to. It's very in nowadays. I think we should bring him back. I think we should bring back the horse and buggies. Although there is a big group of people that are very anti the horses in the city, with the police officers on it and the people giving the rides around the city. People are very anti.
What about in Amish country? You went to Amish country. Everybody didn't travel by
I
car.
love the Amish. I love the Amish. I don't know why you pronounce it Amish, but we'll let it slide. I love the Amish people.
Okay, I'll call them Amish. So you should go there for a Shabbos, maybe. Either Amish country or Crown Heights.
Are there any Amish Jews? I think that's oxymoronic because Amish is like a religion, right?
Yeah, I don't think that there are Jews in. I know there's a shliach not far in
Really?
Reading, Pennsylvania.
So that's where I was. I was near Reading, Pennsylvania, and the
I
life
know the
there. I
shliach
don't
there.
know.
The
It's
shliach
so.
there
s-
is
it's-
Yossi Lipsker is the shliach there.
He's related to Reb Lipsker in Bell Harbor.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I don't think he's not. I don't know how they're related, but I'm sure they're related in some way.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know.
Put it this
Amish.
way:
If I wasn't born a
if he was
from Yid,
if he was related to Rabbi Lipska in Florida, he wouldn't be in Reading, Pennsylvania.
you'd probably be in Florida.
He'd be somewhere in Florida. So
Yeah.
that's the best I could. My evaluation of the situation.
Yeah. Well, I by the way, I highly recommend it. It's so funny how we went from discussing the Apple Vision Pro to Amish. If there's ever opposites, there's just something. By the way, there's just something so peaceful about driving through Amish town, and you just see these people on horse and buggies. The real religious Amish, they don't even use tractors, machinery to plow their fields. They use a horse dragging machinery that cuts their field. So like, there's a different. It's almost like Judaism in a way, where there are different levels of how religious people are. There are people who have smartphones in the Amish town. There are people who have cars. There are people, but you see on these fields, they have the kids dressed to kill every single day in their dresses and everything with their hats. You know, it's cool. Highly
But
recommend it.
do they have crisis chinuch also there?
They do have people
They
going off
probably
of there.
do. They
They do.
probably. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. The modern world is right on their doorstep.
They really do a very good job of insulating themselves, to be honest. Let's see. What percentage of Amish leave the fold? It says approximately 15% of people leave the Amish way of life due to the curiosity or simply wanting more choices in life. 15%.
Okay, but they're Christians. They're very religious Christians, and they keep to themselves. And
I also don't know. Like, I just Googled and that's what came up, but I don't even know. Here's another thing. What percent of Amish kids leave? Most of them do not wander far from their family's home during this time, and large numbers, 85 to 90%, ultimately choose to join the church. However, this proportion varies from community to community. It's very similar to Judaism, where you can't answer that. It's like the numbers vary in different Hasidish, Litvish, modern Orthodox. It varies. Ultimately, I think it's cool. You should take a trip out there. And should you get the Apple Vision Pro, I think it's really cool.
And you're also going to
but-
Crown Heights for Shabbos.
But Adirei HaTorah, you have 25,000 people there who are probably not going to get the Apple Vision Pro. Most of them probably don't have smartphones. When I was in Crown Heights, do you know how many selfies I took with flip phones?
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Again, some places are frozen in time, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing. So I don't know if Apple Vision Pro is going to gain a lot of business from the Jewish market, but you never know.
Eventually,
if we do get it, we're not going to tell anybody because I'll be embarrassed. Because it's like such a ridiculous cost.
Listen, but it could be used for good things too. It doesn't have to only be.
Of course it could, and I'll tell you what. I think Chabad is going to be the first people to get something like this and figure out, well, what can we do in this metaverse? What can we do in this world? How can we utilize this?
Of course,
there's going to be Tanya classes.
All opportunities. These are all opportunities to uplift the world. You know, but
it comes with tremendous ability, potential for downfall. It's a scary thing.
But Nachi, that's the whole purpose of the creation of the world, to overcome those obstacles and to become to dominate them. And the whole purpose of God creating this world is to overcome those obstacles. Those obstacles not put in your place to destroy you. You know, unfortunately, too many people get beaten by them. But the whole purpose, the whole tachlis of the bria, so to speak, is to, Hashem created people with free choice and the opportunity to make the wrong choice, but also the opportunity to reverse course and overcome it.
I'm with you. I wanted the last thing. I know it's a longer episode, but this is the last thing I'm going to mention on today's episode. This is a tweet that has gone absolutely viral. It's a tweet by David Bashevkin, a Five Towns native. He posts a picture of a billboard, and I don't know exactly where this billboard is. I'll tell you that this tweet has 261,000 views, and this is less than 24 hours old. The billboard reads, Judaism, come for your girlfriend and stay for the lack of hell. Jewbelong.org. Okay, so David tweeted, he said, there's got to be a better way to advertise the value of Judaism. If you had money for such a billboard, what would yours say? Come for the blank, stay for the blank. What would it be? So the comments and there is and how many replies are there? Let me see. There's a lot of replies to this tweet. Some of the top ones: come for the bagels, stay for the benching. Come for the deli, stay for the struggle. Stay to struggle with God. Come for the latkes and donuts and stay for Pesach cleaning. What would you say? Come for the what and stay for the what?
I don't know. I have to see the original. I didn't catch the original. What did the original say?
The original one, which we don't agree with, as a good way to promote Judaism, is come for your girlfriend and stay for the lack of hell. I guess it has a free wedding booklet also. Maybe if someone's marrying a Jew, like come to shul and stay for the lack of. So again, Jewish Twitter is really stepping up and having a lot of good ideas.
Well, I will check it out, and we can pick up the conversation on the next broadcast. We come with some of our own ideas.
A very common one, a popular one is come for the chant and stay for the kugel. Yeah,
I understand.
You understand? But shout out to David Bashevkin for getting this dialogue rolling. Come for Kaddish and stay for Kiddush. I like that one also.
Yeah, it's also good. Maybe say come to shul and stay for the talking.
I don't know how good that is.
It's as good as the original.
Yeah.
I like come for the Kaddish and stay for the Kiddush. That's catchy.
That one. Okay, well, that is today's episode of the Daily Thread. Thank you all for listening. Of course, you can hear more of the Daily Thread all day by joining our WhatsApp status. That is to hit the link in the description of this episode in the show notes. Hit that link, and you can join our WhatsApp status where you have more of myself, my father, discussing these different videos, reacting to some of these stories, and highlighting it in a positive way, mostly. So
No
hope
same.
you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you again pretty soon. Adios.
Be well.